Good happy Monday morning is Monday, January 5th, 2026. I'm Riley King and welcome to this Monday morning edition of WRMK News 12. We have a lot of news to get to on this Monday, so let's get started right now. First up, we're going to start with a look at your morning traffic and see how your morning traffic is shaping up on this Monday morning. Good morning. Traffic is moving steadily across southern New Hampshire this morning. Watch for slowdowns around Nashua where an incident is reported near the city, causing minor delays on local roads in nearby connectors. I-93 through Manchester and Bedford is flowing smoothly with no major backups, and Route 101 looks clear heading east and west. Down towards the Massachusetts line, traffic remains moderate with typical early morning volume and no significant suggestions. Overall, a mostly smooth commute. Just allow a few extra minutes if you're traveling through Nashua. And that is a look at your morning traffic for this Monday morning. Now, let's get into your news. First up, Maduro and wife set for first court appearance in Manhattan. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are scheduled to make their first appearance in Manhattan Federal Court at noon Eastern Time on Monday before the judge. Maduro and his wife are currently being held in federal custody at MDC Brooklyn. As of Monday morning, it's unclear whether either Maduro or his wife had secured legal representation ahead of their arrangements. Both are among 6 defendants charged in a 4-court sending incident that alleges they conspired the violence of drugs trafficking over the past 25 years. The remaining defendants, including Maduro's son and 2 senior Venezuela officials and an alleged leader of the trendy Arguello criminal gang. Legal questions emerge after U.S. strike in capture of Venezuela's Maduro. Nearly 2 days after a U.S. military strike in Venezuela led to the capture of President Nicolas Maduro, constitutional questions persist over whether President Donald Trump was required to seek congressional approval before authorizing the operation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio defended the administration's actions, arguing that congressional constitution was not necessary. This is not an operation that required congressional approval, Rubio said, adding that similar actions have been carried out by U.S. presidents for decades. That view was challenged by U.S. Rep. Maggie Goodlander, who emphasized Congress's constitutional role. The Constitution entrusts Congress with war powers for a very good reason, she said. Legal scholars say the issue is far from settled. Daniel Pye, a professor at the University of New Hampshire Franklin Pierce School of Law, said the debate reflects a long-standing tension between Congress's authority to declare war and the president's powers as a commander of chief. What this comes down to is uncertainty over what continues as hostile, Pai said. He noted that while the airstrike could be viewed as failing within presidential authority, Congress retains the exclusive power to declare war. In a way, both sides are right. This is not a clearly defined thing, he said. The War Powers Act, passed in 1973, has become central to the decision. The law requires President to consult with Congress before involving U.S. forces in armed conflict, but its constitutional status remains unresolved. Courts have neither struck it down nor definitively upheld it, Pai said. Despite that uncertainty, Pai noted that Congress has other tools to assert its authority, including the power of the pursue. Lawmakers could restrict or cut off funding for military operations they oppose, though they have historically been relentless to do so. Pai also said it's unlikely the courts will intervene in the current dispute, citing post-traditional relentless to rule on war powers conflicts. Maduro has been indicted on federal drug trafficking and weapon charges and is expected to be arraigned Monday. Pai said the circumstances of Maduro's captures are unlikely to have any impact on criminal cases against him. Protesters in Manchester rally against U.S. military actions in Venezuela. Dozens of New Hampshire residents gathered Sunday in downtown Manchester to protest the U.S. military's mission in Caracas following the capture of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. Demonstrators assembled at City Hall Plaza holding signs and flags to voice opposition to U.S. involvement in Venezuela. Maduro was taken into custody in U.S. on federal drug trafficking charges and is currently being held at a detention facility in Brooklyn, New York, ahead of his expected arraignment for today. The rally was organized by the Party of Socialism and Liberation, which denounced Maduro's capture and warned against what it views as growing risk of a border conflict. Organizers said the demonstration was aimed at posing potential U.S. military escalations in another prolonged war. It's been an escalating aggression, said Molly Kay, who is one of the attendees. They've been building up to this point, and we feel it's important to speak out because we don't want to see another endless distress war driven by corporate profits. Similar protests were held Sunday in other communities across New Hampshire as well as in cities around the country, reflecting border national opposition to the U.S. military action. New Hampshire DOT urges drivers to give snowplows space during winter storms. The New Hampshire Department of Transportation is reminding motorists to keep a safe distance from snowplows as winter weather continues across the state. Transportation officials say New Hampshire law requires drivers to yield to active highway maintenance vehicles and allow plows significant room to operate safely while cleaning the roads. Crowding or passing snowplows not only puts drivers and road crews at risk, officials said, but can also lead to fines of up to $250. New Hampshire DOT is urging drivers to slow down, remain patient, and give snowplows the space they need to keep the roadways safe for everyone. Fire causes significant damage to a Hooksett home. A residential fire caused extensive damage to a home in Hooksett on Saturday night, according to officials. Crews from Hooksett Fire Rescue were dispatched to a home on Castle Drive around 8 p.m., where they encountered heavy smoke coming from the garage. Authorities said the homeowner was found outside in the driveway and confirmed that all occupants had safely escaped the house. Officials reported that the fire was contained to the garage area and the living space above it, preventing further spread to the rest of the home. Damage to the property is estimated at approximately $200,000. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. And that does it for this Monday morning edition of WRMK News 12. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'll see you back here later on today for another broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.